Larry Kudlow here for Colonial Metals Group. Ask yourself, is your retirement protected? Gold is the one asset that's surged through every war and economic shock. Please call 800-621-3908. That's 800-621-3908. Or just visit freegoldguide.com/Kudlow to claim your free 2025 Gold Guide. You'll learn how to protect your IRA or 401k and could qualify for up to $7,500 in free silver. That's freegoldguide.com/Kudlow.
With the probe, tell Fox News that New York Attorney General Letitia James and her office is under investigation by the DOJ here in Washington. We're told that Attorney General Pam Bondi signed off on the probe. Subpoenas were sent to James's office, and there is a grand jury investigation underway in the New York State capital of Albany. The specific investigation, my colleague Jake Gibson, Ashley Oliver, and myself are being told involves deprivation of rights, which in plain language means someone in a position of legal authority violating someone else's constitutional or legal rights. Those sources tell Fox News the DOJ is going after James because she took then former President Donald Trump to court, quote, simply because she didn't like him and campaigned on getting him. DOJ, led by Bondi, believes she violated his First Amendment rights dealing with free speech. James has said before she believed Trump inflated his net worth to get good deals on loans from lenders and other financial benefits. Ms. James won in a court judgment of over $450 million against the Trump Organization. Trump is appealing, and it's pending. The entire scope of the grand jury probe in Albany, Dana, is unclear. Grand juries are secretive, but we've learned from these well-placed sources it stems from a recent strike force set up inside the Justice Department to investigate an alleged plot to tie Trump to Russia in 2016. Sources say that strike force has expanded to other topics. Now, to recap, the Justice Department has initiated grand jury proceedings in Albany, New York, against the Empire State Attorney General Letitia James. But remember, this is important. A grand jury simply decides if there's enough evidence to indict. To be clear, we are told this is very early in the process, and no one, as I speak to you right now, is facing any charges at this time. Fox News reached out to Attorney General James's office multiple times, but we've yet to hear back. Dana?
All right, David Spahn, thank you.
It's important that everyone understand that the days of Donald Trump are coming to an end.
Yeah, the days of Donald Trump are coming to an end. The days, sorry, Letitia, it didn't happen the way you thought it would happen. Welcome, my friends, to the already, once again, it's Friday edition of Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour. This is your host struggling with the ravages of a summer cold. So if I sound a little bit raspy, if I have to pump it down real low to talk, I hope you'll understand. This is the fastest hour in American media. Yes, that is the big story of the day so far. Yes, sir.
My message is simple. No matter how powerful you are, no matter how much money you think you may have, no one is above the law. And it is my responsibility and my duty and my job to enforce it.
Really? Oh, you have to love it, my friends. One of the stories in the printed version has this line in it. A spokesperson for James, that would be Letitia James, suggested the action by the DOJ was a weaponization of its prosecutorial power. They have the audacity to walk out with a straight face or even write it, even put it to paper and say that the actions by the DOJ are a weaponization of prosecutorial power. Next to the words weaponization of prosecutorial power should be a picture of this woman, Letitia James. So let's continue with the greatest hits of Letitia James. Yes, we're going to talk about the Texas Democrats. Democrats are hot. They are bothered. They're making demands. As the FBI, as word came out that the FBI might be looking for some of these wayward Democrats, trying to track them down. They are not happy about that. No, my friends, they are yappy about it. Yappy. But while we're still on with the topic of Letitia James, we went back in our library. We found some of the greatest hits from Letitia James, and so here they are for your entertainment.
You want me to sit in my seat and stand idly by and allow this craziness to happen? You could come after me if you want, but you elected me to stand up. You elected me to use the law. You elected me to go to court. You elected me to continue to challenge this administration. You elected me to stand up for the least of God's children. You elected me to continue fighting on, and I will fight on.
Well, baby, you can fight on, because now, hopefully, if the grand jury comes back with some stuff, you're going to have plenty of chances not to sit down to do what you think you was elected to do, to fight on and on and on. Now, remember, this is not the only case or that we know of where at least probe of Letitia, and I hate to use that word probe and Letitia James in the same sentence, but hey, keep it clean, Carlos. But remember, there's the question of the mortgages, and she was not happy about what turned out to be questions about the way she was filing documents for the mortgages, claiming she had a primary property somewhere in Virginia, when in fact she's the Attorney General of New York. And let's go back in time, get in the time machine, and head back. It was April when all this stuff started to surface, and then there was other stuff. Let's listen to Letitia back
My
then.
question is for Tush James. Will you apologize to President Trump for wasting millions of dollars and the state of New York for a witch trial? And how does it feel to know that you will be in prison for mortgage fraud?
I think the crowd there a little difficult. They're upset. yeah. I just got.
We want to thank him for coming. We respect all opinions.
No,
everybody knows those allegations are baseless.
Baseless.
They're discredited.
Everybody knows.
And so we want to thank him. Our next speaker.
Everybody knows the allegations are baseless. They're baseless. Everybody knows. No, we don't all know that the allegations are baseless. We don't think the allegations are baseless. Letitia, and then, Carlos, this next one is long, but I just can't. I cannot not play it. Ladies and gentlemen, please bear with us, because I know 3 minutes and 4 to 8 seconds of Letitia James is a long time. No, cut 6. It's a long time to listen to Letitia. Keep my microphone open in case it gets too boring for me. I'll have to interject. But meanwhile, let's listen to New York Attorney General Letitia James.
Good to see you, Ms. James. Thanks for joining us.
She's being interviewed.
Thank you for having me, Errol.
Absolutely.
News.
What is going on here? Did anybody contact you before this letter went out accusing you of this, that, and the other and making a criminal referral about real estate transactions?
Mortgage fraud.
Not at all. And let me just say to all New Yorkers and to all Americans, the allegations are baseless. The allegations are nothing more than a revenge tour. And as you mentioned, my office was successful in securing a $454 million judgment against Donald Trump and others for exaggerating the value of his assets. He engaged in a pattern and practice of fraud. And the interest is accruing each and every day while the case is on appeal in the First Department. It's
Look like your
that
assets are in a little
individuals
trouble
know,
here, Letitia.
that this is nothing more than the continuation of the tour. He went after law firms, universities, immigrants, women. Thousands of federal employees right now are unemployed. Our government is in chaos and in disarray.
No, it's
Medicaid,
not.
Social Security, CFPB,
No problem.
and the list goes on and on and on. And as you know, as you mentioned, each and every day, my office is leading the fight against these executive orders, which have no legal import at all, have no legal significance. And we are standing up for the rights and privileges of New Yorkers and Americans.
Pause it right there for a minute. Just pause it right there. I just need to comment on that before I forget. Letitia James says that her assets are not, well, let's move away from talking about Letitia James' assets. And she's saying his executive orders are baseless. Tell it to the illegal immigrants now in El Salvador and parts around the world. Talk about how his executive orders don't mean squat. Look at these colleges she's talking about that they went after. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we have word. I have it right there. Trump administration seeks $1 billion settlement from UCLA. That's an Associated Press story. The Trump administration seeking $1 billion settlement from the University of California, Los Angeles, a White House official said today. The person was not authorized to speak publicly about the request and spoke under condition of anonymity. You ain't gonna know who I am, but I'm telling you. Meanwhile, second headline from the dailybs.com. The Trump administration signals willingness to work with Harvard over foreign students. The Trump administration has stated a willingness to meet and confer and consider counter proposals from Harvard University in the battle over their foreign students, which, by the way, significant amount of the population at Harvard University. So she says all these executive orders are meaningless. Trump's executive orders, there are so many of them, and they are not meaningless. They have shaped the first 200 days of his administration. On the deportation front, for instance, an appeals court has tossed the contempt finding from that Judge Boasberg fella. They tossed it out. And that's the guy that didn't like Trump's orders to ship some of these illegals down there to El Salvador, where they are right now. So all Letitia can talk about how Trump's executive orders don't mean squat, and his assets, all this and that. But guess what? She wrong. Let's continue with Letitia as much as we can bear.
Silenced.
The same one.
I will not be bullied. I will not bend. I will not break. And I will not bow to anyone. No one is above the law, including the President of these United States.
Okay.
Well, and the Office of the Attorney General will continue to stand up.
Let me follow up of some of what's in this this letter. It says according to media reports, which for us in the media is kind of a red flag, meaning that it seems to be based on some social media posts that I know were made by partisan political actors. But just let me ask you about some of the specifics in the letter. They're saying that your house in Brooklyn is a legal 5-family and the mortgage on it is for a 4-family house. Is that true?
So let me just say that, Errol, you know, as any good attorney, I will not litigate this case in a camera.
Well, you know, as any good attorney, I'm not going to sit here and try to answer that question because because the answer is I don't want to answer it. We got to go to break. Now, Errol, you know, you asked me a question. Is it true? I'm sitting here on TV. Am I supposed to tell the truth?
James Golden, known popularly as Bo Snerdley.
This is The Rush Hour with James Golden.
Rush.
It's important that everyone understand that the days of Donald Trump are coming to an end.
One cannot unilaterally disarm. The Republicans are counting on that as part of their scheme, trying to steal the midterm elections and gerrymander these congressional maps with impunity across the country. We're not going to stand for it. And the American people don't expect us to stand for it because they know we are fighting for an economy that actually makes life better for them, as opposed to an economy of the billionaires, by the billionaires, and for the billionaires. We're fighting to protect Medicare and Medicaid and Social Security, and fighting to make sure that their children can have a future.
Yeah, that's the New York delegation, Letitia James and Hakeem Jeffries, claiming elections are going to be stolen. I thought talking about stolen elections was forbidden. It was when you were Republican, you talked about stolen elections. Everybody wanted to shut you up. Now these Democrats openly talk about it. Glenn Campbell passed away in Nashville on this day in 2017. He was 81 years old, suffering, of course, from Alzheimer's disease. More than 70 albums, sold over 45 million records. By the time I get to Phoenix, of course, Galveston, Rhinestone Cowboy. He's a great guitarist, session guitarist, played on so many hits, like Strangers in the Night by Frank Sinatra. You've Lost That Lovin' Feeling by the Righteous Brothers. I'm a Believer by the Monkees. All of that. Glenn Campbell, yeah, playing guitar. But this one, folks, iconic Glenn Campbell. Who cannot love him? Keep it right here. Don't go away. When we get back, more on what's going on in Texas. Stay there.
James Golden, known popularly as Bo Snerdley.
This is The Rush Hour with James Golden.
Rush.
It's important that everyone understand that the days of Donald Trump are coming to an end.
I called to ask about my student loans, and the girl who was talking me through it all, so helpful. But she just casually mentioned a point. Do you want to know how much your daily interest is? I've never thought about it that way. So I was like, sure, tell me how much my daily interest is. $30 a day. $30 a day. So I could pay $1,000 a month, and only 10% of that is going towards my principal. And there is no option for me, according to her, to pay, like, each payment, do, like, part of the principal, part of the interest. No, it all goes towards interest until you have no interest left, which will basically never happen as I'm accruing $30 a day. Doesn't take a day off. No holidays.
Yeah. I tell you what, folks, the more and more I hear, I used to think this was just such a cut and dry issue. Princess Diana was on the show, and she talked to me about what's really going on inside some of these loans. This is just straight up loan shark stuff. The way that, and some of these students, I'm not saying that, you hear the reaction, I'm not going to pay any, well, but look, folks, some of these younger people, and anybody that's taking loans, whatever, the terms on some of these loans, no, this is not right. Not right. All right, I promised other things. Let's get to some of them. Let's, for a minute, talk about what's going on with this Texas business. The FBI, GOP's FBI talk on Texas sparks firestorm with Democrats. Oh, poor Democrats, they're feeling bad. They're having a firestorm. Democrat lawmakers are now investigating how involved the FBI is in the Texas redistricting battle. I thought the investigative branch was the FBI. Well, anyway. They're claiming that Kash Patel is helping to track down state-level Texas Democrats. They say if Patel is taking sides in the Texas redistricting fight, it would be a misuse and politicization of the FBI. Again, what nerve? You heard Letitia James earlier talking about how the DOJ beginning a grand jury looking into her actions is a weaponization of its prosecutorial power, as if everything that these Democrats have done for 4 years, for actually the entire time Donald Trump has been in his office, as if that didn't happen. And now you have these hypocrite Democrats saying that the FBI is being weaponized after the FBI was used to go after Donald Trump during his first term. Hakeem Jeffries is out. We heard him earlier. Told ABC News the FBI lacks the legal authority to intervene. Chuck U. Schumer said if the FBI is involved trying to track down these wayward Democrats, who, by the way, have crossed state lines after they have committed an act that is... He said this is authoritarianism, plain and simple. Oh, yeah, Chuck U, that's going to be a big one. Just authoritarianism. Hey, Chuck U, half the people in your party don't even know what the word means because of the woeful education that Democrats are responsible for across America. Texas Democrats are standing up for democracy. Republicans want to send in the federal government to round them up. This is not American. Yeah, okay, Chuck U. So, let's check out Governor Abbott down there in Texas. And also, we're going to start with J.B. Pritzker in one of the most gerrymandered states in this entire country. And they openly gerrymander. And yet, here's Pritzker, cut 12, on his high haunches, talking about this Texas situation. And he's hiding these fugitive Democrats in his state.
We're not going to let the bluster and threats from John Cornyn, even from Donald Trump. There is no federal law that dictates that these people could be arrested. Can they send FBI agents to, try to threaten or, create some scene? Maybe, but there is no federal law that allows them to arrest these legislators. And as you said, the civil warrant that was issued by the House leadership, the Republican leadership in Texas, is ridiculous. It has nothing to do with Illinois. We don't recognize their civil warrant from Texas. Right. Texas Rangers can come to Illinois and enjoy our lakefront, but they're not arresting anybody and taking them away.
Well, okay, fine. Governor Abbott has a few things to say. Let's listen in to Governor Abbott.
Sounds like maybe federal help at this point to do it. Like, how does this end?
The way it always does, and that is the Democrats always come back. It could be tomorrow, it could be next week, it could be next month. They're going to come back, or we'll be able to track them down. One way or the other, they're coming back, and it's going to end with these maps being passed. And, what I'm thinking now is if they don't start showing up, I may start expanding. We may make it 6 or 7 or 8 new seats we're going to be adding on the Republican side.
Yeah. The wall just got 10 feet higher.
Love it, love it, love it. Meanwhile, J.D. Vance, Vice President of these United States of America, was on Fox Business with Maria Bartiromo. That's cut 14, Carlos. And he had a few words to say about this whole gerrymandering issue, this big kerfuffle. Here it is.
You're just back from Indiana. Did you have discussions on redistricting with officials there?
We did. We spoke with the governor, with the Speaker of the House there in Indiana, and the Senate President. And the message I delivered is pretty straightforward. We want a unified Republican team. We want to fight together, win together, make big things happen for the American people, and obviously the people of the state of Indiana together. But one of the things that you see in a lot of red states is blue states have really aggressively gerrymandered such that they've actually made it harder for the majority of the state of Indiana to have their voice heard in their federal elections. Because if California has crazy gerrymanders. Illinois has crazy gerrymanders. New York has crazy gerrymanders. What it does is it actually suppresses the will of the people in states like Indiana. And the other thing that we talked about, and I didn't even realize this, Maria, until a couple of years ago, that, for apportioning representatives, you actually count illegal aliens. So even though illegal aliens theoretically are not supposed to vote, we know sometimes they do, you still count illegal aliens for congressional apportionment. So California has way more House seats than it should because they have such a high population of illegal aliens. So they get rewarded for welcoming illegal aliens into their state, giving them federal benefits, actually asking the taxpayers of states like Ohio to subsidize them, and then those same taxpayers in Ohio and Indiana and elsewhere, they have fewer congressional representatives because of what California has allowed to happen. That's ridiculously unfair, and the only real way to fight back against it is for us to redistrict in some ways as aggressively as these hard blue states have done.
And it's about time they do that now. Story out of Texas today. Some Texas Democrats, now not satisfied with being in the gerrymandered state of Illinois, and some of this, they headed out to California. Again, another state. We had Stephen Miller yesterday. Carlos, you can find that Stephen Miller talking about how many seats that this whole blue state gerrymandering has potentially cost. And it is not an insignificant number of seats, my friends. We have it. Carlos, let's listen to that, please.
Illinois, Chicago, New York, Massachusetts. Democrats have gerrymandered the vote beyond recognition to try to maintain their advantage in the House elections. On top of that, let's not forget, Democrats rigged the 2020 census by including illegal aliens. Remember, they sued Donald Trump. They sued the administration. They fought tooth and nail to include illegal aliens in the census. 20 to 30 of House Democrat seats wouldn't exist but for illegal aliens. Texas is taking just a small corrective step against this ocean of fraud, this ocean of abuse by the corrupt Democrat Party, Sean.
20 to 30 seats that Republicans would have if it's not for the way the Democrats have stacked illegal immigrants in blue districts, and therefore use the census to write seats that should not be going to Democrat politicians in the House of Representatives. You cannot tell me this is not purposeful. Now, while we're on the subject of immigration, Scott Jennings once again shows what a masterful communicator he is. That would be Cut 7, Carlos. He was on CNN with this woman who's associated with the Young Turks. Her name is Anna Kasparian. And so let's just listen in with Scott Jennings.
I will just say Republicans right now are trying to recruit and give bonuses to people who want to serve in ICE. And Democrats right now and people on the left are encouraging violence against people who want to serve in ICE.
They are?
And are putting them in harm's way every day.
How
so
exactly?
The two parties and how they're treating ICE agents right now, I think Republicans embracing recruitment of ICE and Democrats encouraging maybe violence.
So we're just going to make a declarative statement like that without providing a single shred of evidence.
You have not seen the myriad stories of ICE agents?
Okay,
Democrats every day are calling them the Gestapo.
No.
Do you think that helps or hurts?
Well, they do act like Gestapo when they're showing up.
Now you're doing it.
They are.
They're just showing up. I assume you condone the violence.
Penske trucks.
Do you condone the violence?
Home Depot. Listen, I don't want my tax dollars going to that garbage, okay? Those people do not deserve to be treated that way simply because they might be undocumented.
Do the ICE agents deserve to be having violent acts committed, rocks thrown at them?
No, they
people
don't.
Trying to
they don't.
Kill
and
them?
those people who do that get arrested, and they should be arrested.
And why don't they
doing
that? Because they've been told the ICE agents are Gestapo.
Have you considered the fact that in a city like Los Angeles that has a massive immigrant community, when they see their mothers or fathers or family members rounded up, that leads to a lot of rage, and they retaliate. I'm not saying they should. That is criminal. They should not assault a police officer. Let me just tell you something. Someone messes with my family, I get violent. Okay, that's how I feel about family.
Good to know.
I protect family. So don't be surprised when people feel angry when they feel that there's a bunch of feds in their city invading their city, going after people who are just day laborers that are on people parking lots.
That's dangerous talk.
It leads to unrest. It leads to a ton of unrest.
No, it's more than that. They are.
Yeah, it leads to unrest, and that's what the left wants. You heard her just out of her mouth. They're the Gestapo. Well, they act like the Gestapo. No, they don't. And what an insult to ICE agents. Anybody that knows what the Gestapo really did, which was true terror and participated in mass murder of a consequential scale. What an insult to people who are just enforcing laws on the books in America. Meanwhile, Homeland Security, Kristi Noem, otherwise known in some cultures as Ice Barbie, had a few things to say about the current state of immigration, and here is Miss Ice.
We can get it for you, but each specific country has given it to us along the way. But I would say we believe over 1 million people have gone home on their own. Since the CBP home out? Since we have started this administration, yes. But we've arrested hundreds of thousands that have gone through our system.
Now, we have more on that, but we've hit the topic, and I want to just bring up another topic before we leave here today. That is what is happening with EBT. We used to call in America EBT food stamps. We don't do that now. It doesn't sound so nice. So we call it EBT. We just have some nice initials around this welfare program that just people can just sign on. In many cases, they sign on for generations. Used to be food stamps. Now I got an EBT card. Sounds like a high-tech something or another, but it's still welfare. Now, and by the way, I don't say that pejoratively. There are people who need help, and so, yes. Now, oh, by the way, did you hear that Pam Bondi offering $50 million for the arrest of Maduro? I just have one question to ask, Lily Bondi. Who's supposed to be arresting him? And once they arrest him, who they supposed to turn him over to? I don't. Anyway, off topic. Anyway, Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins talks about the EBT program and some changes that are being made, and that's cut 18. Carlos, let's squeeze that in real quick before we have to jump on to the next thing.
In February of this year, I sent a letter to every governor in the country, and I said, you all are the laboratories of democracy and innovation. We have a chronic health disease problem in this country. My friend Bobby Kennedy obviously leading the way on that. The fact that taxpayer dollars are being used in our food stamps to buy Cokes and junk food and sugary drinks, not only is it unfair to the taxpayer, but to allow that to continue when you've got the health epidemic and the cost of health care on the back end of that, we have to do something different. 13 states, both Democrat and Republican, have now come to us. We have, within a matter of weeks, approved those waivers, whether it's Colorado, Arkansas, Idaho, Utah, Oklahoma, Texas, Florida. They now have, and just yesterday I saw for the first time, Harris, a sign in one of the stores saying no EBT, which means no food stamps can be used to purchase. And it was the Coke section, the sugary drink section, the junk food section. Wow. So it's working. And this is a big change in American policy, and I just couldn't be prouder to lead the way on that.
So, my friends, people are not going to be able to use their EBT money to buy junk food. No sodas, no chips, no heavy, sugary snack food. How do you think that's going to play out in this nation of ours with people that are used to using their EBT cards for everything? James Golden, Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour. Fastest hour in American media continues. Don't go away.
Rush. This is the Rush Hour with James Golden.
Bo Snerdley.
It's the Rush Hour with James Golden.
Goes by the pseudonym Bo Snerdley.
Rush.
Now, here's James Golden.
Lady Benedict weighed in on the arrest for Maduro. She thinks the job should be taken with 5 Navy SEALs. Anyway, on this day, and thank you for this, Kevin Drosh, our program director, reminded me of this day. It's kind of like Dave Matthews Day here because, let's see, ladies and gentlemen, it was 2004. A bus belonging to the Dave Matthews Band was passing over the Kinsey Street Bridge. They let loose 800 pounds of human waste. There happened to be a tour bus passing underneath, and that tour bus was swamped with 800, all the people. What kind of day do you think they were having?
I would just jump in the river.
You jump in the river. Yeah. That was rough. Well, thank you, Kevin, for reminding me. Oh, my friends, today, one of America's premier songwriters passed away, Lamont Herbert Dozier, of the songwriting group and producing group Holland Dozier Holland. Martha the Vandellas, Supremes, Four Tops, Frida Payne, Isleys, Marv, so many hits, Supremes. Anyway, remembering Lamont, we got to go. May God bless, protect each and every single one of you, your families, your loved ones. We'll be back, God willing, in the morning, bright and early, and hope you're here. So, until then, my friends, I bid you adieu. Bye.
Greg Kelly here for Colonial Metals Group. China's leading the largest anti-American alliance since World War II, one that's already dumped U.S. bonds, grabbed 43 million acres of our farmland, and is plotting to dethrone the dollar. That's why IRA and 401k savers are protecting their savings with gold. Go to freegoldguide.com/Kelly or call 800-655-5186 for your free gold guide on how to protect your wealth with gold 100% tax-free.